Hello and welcome back to or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Parker and today I'll be reading chapter 11 and 12 of Nothing Left to Lose by Shawnee VFX. If you haven't watched any of the other parts, I do highly suggest you go watch those parts so that you can understand the storyline and how we got to this point. This one is in Roman's point of view, so as always, I'm going to, very much apologize for my voice and, how I do his voice, because Roman is the only voice that I can't do. This is a Prinxiety story, and, it's one of my favorite stories that I've ever read, so I'm so happy to share it with you. Without further ado, this is Nothing Left to Lose, chapters 11 and 12 by Shawnee VFX. Roman's point of view. Virgil stares at his now lit up phone, Deceit's contact showing on the screen. He freezes, face paling as he watches the phone move slightly as the ringtone continues to play. I'm gonna get Logan. He should answer it, Patton says quietly, going over to Logan's door. Virgil reluctantly hits the answer button, immediately hearing Deceit shout over the line, "You're at Bridger's Motel, huh?" He yells angrily, because sure enough, he says there's no room 38. Being the princely person I am, normally I would have spoken up, but I can't exactly do that without Deceit asking more questions. Logan and Patton return to the table silently as Virgil looks around to the three of us for help. If you don't answer, I'll just assume you lied, and I'll just have to find you myself, he growls over the phone. Literally freaking growls. Just try to get him to screw off, I whisper to Virgil, hoping the advice is good enough. He sighs before speaking up. Why do you even care where I am? He asks. It's not like you miss me, he adds bitterly under his breath. Geez, if he's acting, he's doing a hell of a job. If he wasn't so anxious, he'd make a great movie star or something. Deceit can be heard cursing quietly on their end. Look, we're a team, and if you don't come back, then I'm stuck alone with Remus. I'm sorry, he says. But with my theater background, I know that's not the entire truth. Oh, you know you love me, Snaky, a too familiar voice says from further away. Don't say anything, Roman. It'll only make things worse. No, I don't, Deceit responds, and by the sound of it, he moved away from the phone. The two keep talking to each other while we sit silently on our own end. Logan casually reaches over and ends the call. Seeing as they started their own conversation that did not seem particularly beneficial to listen to, I figured it would be best if we got back to our own lives, he says, adjusting his glasses. May I say, never before have I been so grateful for Logan's impatience with other people. Hearing his voice wasn't going to make anything easier. Why did Virgil have to tell me and Patton their names? He could have said anything else to earn our trust, and just told Logan later. But no, a small part of me wonders if it's wrong to blame Virgil for that. But that part is drowned out by everything else. Instead, my mind wanders to food. Patton announces dinner will be ready in a few minutes, and we all go our separate ways. Virgil stays sitting at the table, messing with his phone. Even though it's off, Logan goes back to his room, and I sit on the couch as I read through one of the next scripts. Even if I was part of the cast, I was still affected by the cliffhangers and curiosity, which might just kill me. Once my curiosity is satisfied, I end up staring off into space rather than reading the rest. I don't have to send the recording for another 3 days, and working ahead isn't my strong suit since I get tired enough doing the required work. Procrastination is a monster that plagues me constantly. If my job wasn't a form of acting, I would have been fired already. Thank God my boss can't see me slacking off 90% of the time. I'm sorry, he's British. That's all I have to say. Logan's one of you. While Patton is busy making dinner, I figured I could spend my time finishing up the power-restricting cuffs I had been working on. So far, several had blown a fuse, and a few have caught fire. I will admit that I am excited for the newest test, seeing as I believe I found a way to keep the cuffs from overheating when in use. If I can make a working pair, resting to seat in the Duke would be much easier, assuming this version doesn't destroy itself minutes after being activated. I could test them on myself, after running some diagnostic tests, of course. If I can get them to work properly, then they should send a small electrical current through my arm, shocking me and therefore making it impossible to use my powers. That was really hard. Kiddos, dinner's ready. Patton calls from the kitchen. I do not understand why he insists on calling this that. Aside from the fact that it's not an actual word, we are not his children. Anyway, I make my way into the kitchen, seeing Roman and Virgil already there. Patton presents us each with our own plate of spaghetti and meatballs. Once we take our seats, like normal, Patton and Roman hold up most of the conversation with the occasional tie-breaking contribution for myself. Virgil sits through the meal looking quite uncomfortable, judging by his slumped posture, also by the fact that he's pushing his food around his plate uselessly. To make you feel more comfortable, Virgil, how about we tell you more about ourselves? Oh, sorry. To make you more comfortable, Virgil, how about we tell you more about ourselves? Patton suggests during a lull in the conversation. I'll start. So I have an older brother. I'm the manager of a nearby coffee shop, and I learned to cook from my mom. Roman ends up going next. In my immediate family, I have a ton of cousins and 3 siblings. I'm a voice actor for 3 different characters at the moment, and I act at the theater for fun. I feel like I just gave him a Logan voice. I'm so sorry for that. It seems it's my turn to share some facts about my life. I'm an only child. I work at the local planetarium giving tours, and I spend my free time working on several different inventions. I summarize. Virgil just nods in response, sitting up slightly to avoid falling off of the chair. Are you going to tell us anything about you? I'm sorry, I did not like how I did that. I'm so sorry, guys. Why do I even try to fix the grammar anymore? He doesn't have to tell us anything if he doesn't want to, especially with his anxiety. Wait, you have anxiety, right? I'm sorry if you don't. I just kind of assumed that in rambles. I do have anxiety, that is. Virgil interrupts. It seems he isn't comfortable sharing facts about himself. Interesting. And Roman presses. Figuratively, of course. I must say, Roman trying to pressure an anxious person into anything isn't an ideal strategy. I can admit that I am curious as to what Virgil's past holds. Patton doesn't seem as intent on understanding Virgil's motivations, though. If he's not comfortable sharing anything, then he doesn't have to, he restates sternly. Thanks, Patton, but it's fine. I'm also an only child. I moved to New Vixen about 4 years ago, and I've been helping Deceit and Duke since my sophomore year of college. Virgil pipes up, never looking up from the ground. Several questions, I start, before Patton shoots me a death glare. I wanted to ask was how he met Deceit and Duke, along with the more concerning question, why would his parents allow him to assist known criminals? Come to think of it, he failed to mention his parents at all. How curious. No, that was so hard. I'm so sorry, guys. Apparently their voices are not my thing today. Alright. Chapter 12. Virgil's point of view. The only voice that I can do properly other than Patton. Yay. Hey kiddo, time to get up. I hear a familiar voice say as they shake me awake. What ungodly hour is Patton trying to wake me up? It may be 7, but it's still too early for social interaction. I just wanted to let you know that Logan will be here, probably in his room, in case you need anything, he says gently before leaving. Great. I asked for the help of superheroes, and now they're babysitting me like I'm 5. Might as well get up, since my body won't let me go back to sleep. Going to sleep is already hard enough. When can I ever get off easy? Random comment from them that I thought was funny enough to head in. Keep the dirty jokes to a minimum. We aren't trying to summon Remus. And I'm going to do that voice for every time I decide that I want to read what the author said. After changing into one of my only two clean pairs of clothes I have left, I do my makeup using my phone's camera and go out to the main room. Logan is nowhere to be found, so I decide to make something for breakfast before my stomach eats itself. They honestly don't have much around unless you count all the ingredients that would serve Patton a lot better than me. I settle for making toast, one of 3 things I actually know how to cook. During my meal, Logan still doesn't show up. Reluctantly, I go over to the room that I'm pretty sure is his. I knock, getting no response. Logan, you in there? I call through the door. After a minute, he responds, Why wouldn't I be? This is my room, he states robotically. How long has he been talking to actual people? Seriously, it can't be that long if he's this literal. Deciding to ignore it for the sake of me actually trying to not be actively hated by all 3 of my new roommates. Can I come in? Yes, I cannot exactly prevent you from entering, he says. I sigh. Letting it go as I open the door and walk in. He's working on a bracelet type of thing, probably to use against you. Nope. He's supposed to be one of the good guys. He wouldn't do that. You're just being paranoid. Are you though? Yep. This is just proving my point. What exactly was the point of you coming in here? He asked, not bothering to turn around. I was just curious as to what you were doing since you never came out to eat, and I'm guessing you haven't been awake much longer than me, I explained, feeling awkward that I couldn't come up with a better reason. You are correct in assuming that I have not eaten. I was simply hoping to finish this before my stomach's demand for food became too distracting, he answers, checking the time on his phone. Actually, Virgil, would you mind helping me test this? Testing the cuff on myself would be much less beneficial, especially if it happens to knock me unconscious with its shock. He mumbles the last part, worrying me slightly. Well, mind, do we still want to get on his good side? Yeah, the last thing I need is more enemies. I've already got at least 2 of those. Sure, what is it? At the very least, I should know what it's supposed to do so he can't lie to reassure me, if this guy is even capable of that. Its purpose would be to restrict the wearer's use of his or her powers through the use of delivering an electrical shock. He explains casually. You only have to wear one, though, seeing as I can test the magnetics without a test dummy, he adds, using finger quotes. Okay, I say hesitantly, holding out my arm. You have nothing to worry about, he assures me as he locks the cuff into my arm. As soon as the ends meet, it powers on. A couple of different blue lights come on. Now, would you mind attempting to use your powers? Yes, I do mind. Sure, I say instead. Damn it, anxiety. Deciding that I don't want to topple the building over like a Jenga tower, I try to use my paralyses on Logan. As soon as I try to use it, a jolt of electricity shoots through me, nearly knocking me over. He writes something down. It seems I should lower the voltage slightly, he mumbles. You think? I say, rubbing my arm. He takes my arm, using this flash drive-looking thing to presumably release my arms from these glorified torture bracelets. Once the key is inserted, though, nothing happens. Please tell me it just takes a minute to unlock, I say hopefully. That is not good, he mumbles, making another note. It seems you are stuck. I am what? I say, instantly panicking. He's supposed to be the smart one, right? He should be able to get me unstuck, right? Well, the dice won't unlock when I use this, which is supposed to be essentially the disable device, he explains, appearing much calmer than me. I will work on another key to release you, and if Patton asks, this was an accident, or I could get your ass in trouble for testing this on me without knowing if you could even turn it off. I'm just gonna go while you work. Want some toast or something? He sighs at my poor grammar. If you don't mind making extra toast, yes. Instead of butter, please use Crofters. It is in the pantry. Isn't Crofters a jam? Who puts a jam on toast? Well, probably a lot of people. But over butter? You know what? I'm not even going to question it. First, I grab my phone so I can actually have something to do while the toaster does its job. Once unlocked, I notice a couple new messages from Janice. Yay! Deceit. If you actually think that you can just hide from us, you're wrong. Deceit. He's just as guilty as us. You're just as guilty as us. We saved you. He's lying, Verge. Remember that. He's just gonna hurt me if you go back. You can't do anything to me. He doesn't know where I am. But he can still do bad things to other people, and that's what scares you. Whoa, that is a fun cliffhanger to end up on. Okay. I will eventually, come back. My voice is kind of giving up on me, if you didn't notice. Which is fun, throughout it, my entire throat filled and whatever, so that's fun. I need to get up and get some water. It's 6:30, and I am filming this a few days early, so I'll actually have it out on time, and maybe, who knows, I'll record the next one and post it this week as well, maybe on, say, Wednesday? Yeah, I might do that. But first I gotta get a drink of water, and I'm pretty sure I'm pushing my luck on my recording, because last week I was only barely able to record the one for Wednesday, and that was really hard. So I might record that tonight, and we'll see how that goes. Also, it's Sunday, so yes, I'm actually ahead of schedule for once, guys. And I'm not just recording this the day before. I have not decided on a nickname for y'all, but if you go and look at my anxiety and theater one, then that does give you guys that little tidbit of information. Please do go watch that and take your vote. My voice is giving up on me. I'm so sorry, guys. I really, really hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you next week or tomorrow. We will see. Yeah, okay, my voice is giving out on me. Thank you guys so much for your patience, honestly. I'll let you guys go now. Bye.